it's afternoon over here, so I'll wish you good afternoon, but depending on your time zone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope it's not good night. Right? So, first of all, namaste to everyone. I am Soumya and I will be your yoga philosophy and pranayama teacher for the rest of the month. Right? So, without any further delay, let's just open the class, then we'll have a further discussion. So wherever you are sitting, just sit comfortably, and you can remove your glasses, keeping the back and neck straight. You can gently close the eyes. And as you close your eyes, just bring the mind to the breathing. Just the natural flow of your breathing. Don't change the breath, just observe it as it is. Make sure that your body is properly aligned. So your weight should be equally distributed on both the hips. Your back should remain straight. Chin should be parallel to the ground. You're not leaning forward or backwards. And just be comfortable in whatever posture you have chosen. And slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. Just take these few moments to come back to this moment. We'll be chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. Inhale deeply for Om. Just feel the vibrations. Join your palms together and rub the palms together. Gently place them over your eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes. Start coming back with a smile. And namaste, everyone. Let us begin today's session. Right. So these are your pranayama classes. So before I begin, since I can see all of you, I would just want you to give a short introduction so that I know who you are, right? So I've introduced myself already. So yeah, just one by one, if you guys could introduce yourselves, that would be great. You can tell me your name, where you're from, what time it is, where you are at, right? And any other thing if you feel like adding, right? So anyone can begin.
Yeah, hello. I'm Charlotte. I'm from Berlin. It's 10:30 now. And yeah, I think I missed 2 classes already because I had such a bad connection yet. But I hope I can somehow catch up with this again. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here and I'm excited for the course.
Awesome, great. Yeah, you'll be able to catch up on YouTube. Don't worry. Yeah, who's going next?
My name is Katrin. I'm from Germany, and so my time is also 10:30, and yeah, I'm also really excited.
Awesome, great. So,
Hi,
Mhm.
my name is Suzanne. I'm from Brazil. Until next Friday, I'll be in Amsterdam, so it's 10:30. So, but in Brazil, it's 6:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm Heidi, and I'm from England, and it is 9:30 here.
Oh wow!
Finally light outside.
Great, awesome. So pranayam. Let's begin. I'll just introduce pranayam to you guys. Yeah. So we're going to have practical sessions as well in this class. Everything is not going to be just me chit chatting with you guys. So these classes you're going to have practical also, right? So let's understand this term because, like most other things in yoga, this is also commonly misunderstood, right? And after this, you'll become teachers, right? So it will be up to you to pass it down correctly and properly. So it's very important to understand the meaning of pranayam deeply, right? So let me first just begin with the term itself only, right? So you can split this term in 2 ways. Hmm. Right? Prana plus Yama, Prana plus Yama, right? And then other way of splitting this same word is Prana, Prana plus Ayam, Ayama, right? So the first way in which I split it, this is what most of us know about pranayama. So prana is the vital or the life force, which is generally connected to your breathing. Okay. So I'll elaborate more on prana, but one of the ways in which prana we are able to experience is through our breath. Okay. So, and the term yama, Yama, this term means control. Okay. So most of us know that regulation of breath or control of breath is pranayama, right? This is the current meaning that most of you who have been or have little bit idea also about asanas and pranayam, so they know that something you change something in your breathing and you work on the breathing basically, right? So but this term, like when you split it in this way, you only cover one portion of the meaning of pranayam, right? The second meaning that I have written, prana plus ayam, Ayama, right? So this is the holistic meaning of pranayam, right? So prana is again the vital force which you experience on a certain level through the breathing that you are taking, right? And ayam means expansion, right? So expansion of the prana is what pranayam is aiming to do, right? So prana also I will right now discuss little bit on what prana is, but you are not working on controlling something. It is a consequence, but your main aim is the expansion. Okay. So when you do the various breathing exercises of breath practices, you are working on a very subtle level. Okay. You are not working on just merely the breathing and how you are breathing. You are changing a lot of things in your body at that point of time. And it is a very subtle process, even though it can be mimicked very easily like asanas, right? So, but it is working on a deeper level, right? So expansion of this vital force that is there is what actually pranayama is, right? Now let's come to prana, because you cannot understand pranayama without the term prana, right? So prana, this term, as I said, it means vital force, right? So vital force, what does this mean, right? It's a big question mark, right? So if you go to science, there is this division of matter and energy, right? There is matter and then there is energy. So something which has that energy element to it, it's called living, right? And the other things are called non-living, right? They do not have that source of energy, right? But when you come to the Indian philosophy and Indian, like how Indian yogis interpreted things, they said that prana or this vital force is present in everything. Okay, it is the cause of the creation of everything around you, right? So we don't categorize things as living or non-living, because everything, like the yogis saw, everything has some source of energy. It can be less or it can be more. Okay, like let me take a very common example. So if you would have heard of various stones, right? There are various stones which if you keep in your house or if you keep somewhere, they have some kind of energy and they impact you in that way, right? But stones are not living, right? But no, they have some source of energy which will impact you. Whenever a stone or something like that comes in contact with you, you feel something which is different, right? That is why they suggest that keep the stone, this will be good, or keep that stone, that will be good. Leave stones also, that is also a very advanced thing to understand. Okay, let's just take the clothes that you wear. Okay, so suppose you are wearing, I'm wearing this sweater for past 6-7 years. Okay, or in all winters I wear it. Okay, so now if somebody will wear this same sweater, right, they will feel what kind of energy I have accumulated in this, right? So when we love someone, we give them our clothes, right? They feel closer to us. So there is some energy that this cloth is also capturing, even though it is non-living in nature, but it also has prana, right? It also has this ability to absorb the energy around it, right? And that is exactly what prana is. It is the reason why everything is created around you. It is the source of creation, and because it is the this energy is the source of creation, it is present in everything around. Okay, so if you see, some places have a very good vibe and environment. So the each and everything in that place captures that energy, right? This you will study more deeply when you do your meditation classes and mantra meditation. But when you keep when you are around in a space where you exist, it captures your energy, right? Some people would feel very good when they come to your house because they like your energy, and the things around you, they capture that energy, right? So when we talk of that energy in us, right, it is the thing that is making each and everything in your body function, right? So prana is the source which is causing all the movement, this movement of my hand, the movement of my mouth as I speak, right? This is the pranic energy which is causing this entire movement in our being, right? It's like battery. It's like a battery. Okay. So you recharge it also, right? So like a battery, sometimes, or like your phone, you charge it, right? So the particular amount of battery you have, you can utilize it for a particular amount of time, right? So same thing. When we do pranayam, we have this prana within us and we are expanding it, right? So now I only have 10% battery, but I have put my phone on power saving mode, right? So same 10% battery will sustain me for a longer period of time, right? So it's not only about having more energy, it's also about the reserve that you have, how the yogi is able to conserve it and utilize it more efficiently, right? And that is what pranayam in actuality does. It leads to the expansion of the already existing prana that is there, right? So now that this little bit portion is clear, let's understand how pranayam has been described. Okay, so pranayam is a very old practice. Nothing that you are studying in yoga or doing is new. Okay, everything that you guys are going to study, it's old. 10, 15,000 years old information we are still acquiring and trying to understand. So, okay, so nothing is going to be new, everything is going to be old. So in Vedas, if you go back today in the morning, I told you that Indian philosophy has its base in the Vedas. Okay, there were certain texts that are there. So that entire information is still being processed, right? So pranayam practice, it's mentioned in the Vedas, right? And hence the breathing practices have been present in all cultures, not only in Indian culture. You will see in all cultures it has been present in some way or the other. People don't know the proper reasoning, but even if you're asked to regulate the breath or work on the breath a little bit, you don't realize you are working on a deeper level. Basically, you see it as the breathing, that you are regulating the breath, but you are working on a deeper level, right? So it has existed throughout, like since the beginning of time. Breath has been seen to be a bridge between your mind and your body, right? Because it's something that is you can experience through your body, but it also gives you an insight into your mind, right? So this breathing also has been defined in different ways. One of the most relevant for us is the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, right? So I'll just write this down. Pranayamaclass. Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So don't worry, I will cover this in philosophy class. But he is the this text is the main text when we talk of yoga. Okay, so when we talk of yoga, this text is generally referred to a lot. Okay, so he gave the definition of pranayam, where he said that cessation of the inhalation and exhalation is what pranayam is. The point where the inhalation and exhalation cease to exist, he called that point pranayam. Okay, so in this, when we look at this definition, he is talking of four aspects. There are four aspects of pranayam. So in this definition, we can take out the four aspects. He has mentioned the inhalation. Okay, right? Then he has mentioned the exhalation. And then when both of them cease to exist, what happens? You are retaining, right? Now this retention is also further divided into two parts. One thing is I breathe in and I retain the breath. Okay, I'm holding my breath. So that is called internal retention. And one thing is when I exhale completely, after that I hold before the next inhalation. So that is your external retention. So these are four aspects: the inhalation, the exhalation, the internal retention, and the external retention. Okay. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to write this down, then I will continue so that you don't miss out on anything. Are there any doubts so far? Are you able to understand a little bit what I am referring to? All right. Awesome. So I'll begin. Yeah. So the first aspect is the inhalation. Now, inhalation, I will write down the Sanskrit name, so don't get very confused. Okay, if you do, let me know. This, when he was talking of the cessation of the inhalation and exhalation, which will of course lead to the retention part. So he has given some qualities of this inhalation and exhalation. Okay. So the first aspect, like I told you, is inhalation. So inhalation is called puraka. 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 Okay. Then same way, exhalation is called rechaka. Rechaka. And retention is called kumbhaka. Kumbhaka. Okay. Right. Kumbhak, you can again divide it into two, make two arrows. One is internal retention, one is external. So internal retention is called antar kumbhak. ANTIRKUMBHAKA. Right. And external retention is called Bahir Kumbhak. BAHIRKUMBHAKA. And whenever you use these terms, okay, so normal inhalation is different from puraka. Okay. Normally, when you are inhaling, it is different from puraka. Normally, when you are exhaling, it is different from rechaka. Okay. Why? Because the inhalation and exhalation has three qualities when you call them, like categorize them under these three, right? These four. It has to be slow, long, and deep. Okay. Puraka is when the inhalation is slow, long, and deep. Rechaka is when the exhalation is slow, long, and deep, right? And then we have the retention. Retention also, it is initially for less period of time, but eventually you work on prolonging that period, right? Okay. So you can, whenever you give the instruction of puraka and rechaka, you have to make sure that this quality is clear, right? Where it is slow, long, and deep. Okay. Otherwise, you can just say inhalation and exhalation. It is still going on, right? Breathing is still going on, but it is not puraka and rechaka. The quality of the way or the breathing changes when you come into the practice of pranayama. Okay, so very simple definition that is given of pranayama is the cessation of the inhalation and exhalation process, right? So that is why in some places when you read pranayama, they would also have written along with it kumbhak, right? So pranayama slash kumbhak, right? If you especially read the Hatha yogic texts, you will see they have referred to pranayama as kumbhak because the main thing that you are focusing on is the retention. So this gives you the goal of your practice. So goal of the practice is the retention part, right? So when both the inhalation and exhalation they cease to exist, retention takes place. So one thing is you inhale, then you hold, and then you exhale, and then you hold. So this retention is supported by the inhalation and exhalation, right? So I'm inhaling first, then I'm retaining, then I'm exhaling, then I'm retaining. So I need the inhalation and exhalation to reach that practice of retention, right? And then there is this natural retention that takes place. That is actually the goal of pranayama. When the control over the breathing is so much that naturally there is no difference between the inhalation and the exhalation. It is only retention, right? That practice is actually your pranayama. Okay, so it is very vast, but very I would say the current definition of pranayama is very naive, but it is actually aiming for something very, very vast. Okay. Why do you need the retention? This also you need to understand. Okay. So when you sit in your meditation classes, this is when you will understand this thing. So when yogis, they sat for their meditations, they saw this thing that after a while, the breathing is actually disturbing rather than supporting. It is disturbing their access to the deeper states, right? So there comes a point, even when you guys will sit in meditation, after a while, you will feel as if you are not breathing, right? You will panic. You will be like, immediately open your eyes or start taking deep breaths, right? Because you will feel as if you are stopped breathing altogether, right? But it is a natural state that comes in as a part of your meditation practices, where the breath automatically suspends, right? Because if when you breathe, right, there is some movement that is taking place, and that movement after a while will cause you distraction rather than helping you deepen your practice. Okay, so that is why pranayam is the practice where you are aiming for the retention which comes naturally. So initially we will work on the inhalation and exhalation, the way in which we are inhaling and exhaling, right? But eventually you come to a stage where natural retention comes in, right? So that is your main target when you are doing pranayam. Pranayam can never be done if you are not sitting stably. Okay, so that is why you will see when the 8 limbs of yoga are talked of, right? So first we give asana and then we give pranayam, right? When you even hear around everywhere where yoga is being taught, they say asana and pranayam practice, right? So they also place pranayam after asana, right? You will also see when you go for your own, if you take yoga classes, they will first make you practice asanas and then they will give you some pranayama techniques. Why? This is very essential because unless and until your body does not attain the stability, pranayama cannot be practiced. Okay, so your body needs to be very stable when in the upcoming classes when we do the pranayama practices. So some practice, one practice only, which can be done all the time, no matter what you are doing. Apart from that, most practices will require you to be in a stable sitting position with your spine straight. Okay, so this is a necessity for the practice of pranayama, right? So it's not just about breath control. Now I can control my breath even when I'm running, right? I'm controlling my breath when I'm running. I'm controlling my breath when I go to the gym, right? Lift weights, but those are not pranayama practices, right? Pranayama practices require you to be seated. So these are two different things. You can gain control over the breathing without being seated, right? Our breath changes with whatever we do, but that is not pranayama. Pranayama requires the stability of the body in order to work on the subtle force that is keeping the body alive, right? So any doubts so far, or else I will proceed? No? You're able to write down everything? Nothing is being missed? Okay. Awesome. Great. So that brings me to the next part where you will understand the concept of the body as per the yogic understanding. Okay. So our body is not just this physical body, right? We are much more than this physical body. So yoga classifies the body into 5 layers. Okay. 5 layers or 5 sheets we have. We in Sanskrit we call them the Panchakoshas. Pancha. Panch means 5, okay, and koshas. 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 This word means the layers or the sheets. Okay, so our body is comprised of the various sheets. So what you guys can do is create a big circle, okay, because I will start from the external layer and then move to the internal layers. You can create a big circle, that is the outermost layer of the body. So this one is the right Anmay Kosh. Annamaya. Anmay Kosh. Kosha. Right. So Anna, this term that I have written, this literally means food. Okay. In Hindi, An is food. Okay. So this is your physical body, right? This one that you can see, hold, you can hug yourself like this, right? So this very body is your Anmay Kosh, which is supported by food. Okay. So you need food to sustain this body, right? If you stop eating, that is why don't ever take extreme paths. Okay, don't ever stop eating. You always have to give your body the nutrition to sustain, right? So this is our physical body, which is totally dependent on the kind of nutrition you take. So you will see the kind of nutrition you take, so is your body. If you change your diet, your physical body will see there are a lot of changes that take place on the physical body because it is directly impacted and influenced by it, right? And that is what you will study in your Ayurveda and therapy classes. What food is best for you, which food suits you, which you should consume, which you should not consume, right? Then when we go to little bit more subtle level, so we have the next layer. Pranmay Kosh. Pranamaya. Pranmay Kosh. So this is the next sheet. This is the one which is most relevant for us when it comes to the pranayama classes, right? So you can draw a little circle around inside that big circle, and this is the second layer. So this one is very hard to observe, right? This one If you go and get an X-ray done, you will not be able to see it. Okay. So like for 𝐂𝐞𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐟𝐢𝐞𝐝, all your organs, if you go and get some X-ray done, you'll be able to see your veins, your arteries, the organs. So that is your 𝐂𝐿𝐴𝐾𝐫. But there is some energy that is making all of these things function, right? And that is the Pranayama. It cannot be easily seen. It cannot be seen, in fact, right? But this is where the energy is traveling, right? So all the energy channels in the body that are present, which cannot be seen, that those come under the Pranayama. So when we are working on the pranayama, we are working on this layer. Okay, when you do asana, you are working on what? The 𝐂𝐿𝐴𝐾𝐫. You are moving your physical body and you are trying to work on the health of the physical body. But when you do pranayama, you are working on the physical body, but you are also tapping into a deeper level where your energy is also being impacted. So you will see after asana practice, of course, you will feel more energized. But after pranayama, the glow and the energy is going to be totally different, right? Because you're exactly targeting that sheath of the body, right? So when it comes to pranayama, like I told you, in the body, you have blood vessels, right, which carry the blood throughout your body. In the pranayama, you have nadis. Energy channels, NADIS. Now again, I cannot prove the existence of these nadis, right? But they are present because energy is consistently traveling throughout your body, right? Your heart is beating, the blood is flowing. So there is some energetic force behind this thing, right? That the blood is also moving. There is some energy which is driving it, right? So nadis are the energy channels. Okay, like your arteries and veins, there are various energy channels also present in the body, and those are worked upon when you do pranayama, right? So as per a lot of texts, the total number of nadis are 72,000. You have 72,000 nadis in the body, 36 on one side and 36 on the other side. Okay. Right. So one side of your body, 36,000 nadis, then other side, 36,000 nadis, right? And in philosophy class, we will discuss this in depth. But three nadis that are very important for us are I will write them down, right? So one goes through the right nostril, okay? Pingla Nadi, P-I-N-G-A-L-A, Pingla Nadi. So right nostril, you can also connect this to the right side of the body. Then Ida Nadi, IDA, Ida Nadi, left nostril. This is the central Nadi, right? So Sushumna, S-U-S-H-U-M-N-A, Sushumna Nadi. This is the
I have a question. Does this still belong to the 5 layers in the classified body?
Yes. So I'm talking of the Pranmay Kosh, the vital sheath, and in that the energies travels through the nadis or the energy channels. And
okay,
three
so
of the main nadis are the Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna.
okay, so it's actually an underlying thing. It's like an under category of the second vital body.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, I see. Cool, thank you.
I will tell you more about this concept when we cover in we'll cover this concept in even your philosophy classes. So for now, I'm just giving you the names because these are three major nadis that are present in the body, and you will see how we work on them. Okay, and what is their relevance, that will be discussed later, right? So second sheath is your pranamaya kosh, right? Then now pranamaya kosh, of course, you can one way in which the vital sheath you can see it manifest is through the breathing, right? So one thing is my body, then my breath. Okay. Then third sheath is your so Manomaya kosh, MANOMAYA, Manomaya kosh, right? So there are thoughts also, there are emotions also, right? They cannot be that easily observed. Yeah. So that is also, so all the five layers are the different ways in which you experience your own being, right? So one thing is I can see my body, then I can feel my breath. So this is pranamaya kosh for me for right now, yes. Then I can also sometimes I think a lot, right? So I can somehow observe that I'm thinking, right? And I feel a lot of things. I feel a lot of emotions, right? So that is another dimension of my own existence, right? So that comes under your manomaya kosh, right? Man is the mind, okay? So this is your mental body basically. So one more circle you can draw within those two circles, one more circle, you're getting closer to something, right? So it's easier to observe your breathing, but it is a little bit harder to observe the mind, right? So they get very, very subtle as we go in, right? So now you can see the pranamaya kosh is sandwiched between what? Your mind and the physical body. So when you do pranayam, where is the first impact you will see? On the pranamaya kosh. But the immediate impact you will see on two other layers, which is your body and your mind. Okay, that is why when you regulate your breath, you will see change in the state of your mind. You will also see a glow come up on your face. You would have seen a lot of people who practice pranayam for a very long time and they have this glow on their face. So because this layer is in between the two layers, okay, so it has the very quick impact on these two layers. So you will see after your pranayam practice, you will also feel very stable. You will feel very calm mentally. You will feel like, okay, now I can do something that I have wanted to do for a long time. Now my mind is feeling stable. So these are direct impacts that you will see because pranamaya kosh is sandwiched between these two layers. Okay. Then there is this portion of you which knows what is correct. Okay, so mind and emotions, mind changes, it has a lot of fluctuations. Emotions also you cannot control. If you get angry, you are angry, right? After a while, after you have shouted, done everything, right, you realize that, oh, I was angry, right? So emotions also, very less control we have on emotions, right? So they are our natural way of being, right? So, but there is this part of you which knows what is correct and what is not correct. So that is the next layer. Okay. So now this is the layer which knows what is right and what is wrong. VJANA, Vigyan, MAYA, Vigyanmay Kosh. Okay. So the intellect, which takes the decision. So you're in a situation, there is a lot of chaos, and then you know what is the right thing to do. And then one thing is what you want to do or what your mind is convincing you to do, right? So there is sometimes a difference between these two. Yeah. So intellect is always seeing things very objectively, right? From a third person point of view, it is seeing the things and it is taking the right decision, right? So this also you sometimes experience. This is what you want most of the times when you are unable to take a decision. You want that you are able to access that intellectual part of yourself, which will help you to make a decision. So whenever your mind is in a chaos, you sit down, you observe your breathing, then sometime the mind settles and you understand, okay, that this is what I have to do, this is what I shouldn't. So that existence, when you experience your own existence in this way, where you are very decisive, right? That is your intellectual body. Okay. And the last layer that we have is the Anandmay Kosh, Anandmaya, Anandmay Kosh, or the bliss body. Right, so very tiny circle. Now you have 5 circles, and the last one, which is very tiny, is your Anandmay Kosh, the bliss body. Right. So this is the one that you get very close to when you do meditation. Right, you feel very peaceful, you feel very calm. Right. So this is the place where you most of the times you want to exist over here, right? So when we go into deep sleep, everything is rested at that point of time. You exist in the Anandmay Kosh. This is how you experience this sphere of your being, right? So now all these 5 layers, what are they enclosed around, right? So the soul, okay? So if you believe in soul or in something which is having an energetic basis for your existence, so that part of your being, the soul, is closest to the Anandmay Kosh, right? The bliss body. Then less close to your intellectual body, then less close to your mental body, right? Then pranic body, and then your physical body, right? So the closer a layer is to something, like if you are standing very close to the fan, you will feel the air thrown out by the fan more. So that is why you will see the layer that is closest to the soul is the most peaceful one, right? And then as you get distant and distant from it, the disparity begins to arise, right? So mind is sometimes so disconnected, it is thinking something else. Breathing is going in its own direction, right? And then you're doing something completely different, right? So you are not in alignment. So today in the morning when we were discussing yoga, so yoga is when there is sync between all these layers. Okay, there is proper sync between how you're feeling, what you're thinking, what your intellect is, then how you're thinking and feeling, then your breathing, and then how you are acting and reacting in your environment, right? Through the body, speech, right? So this is how we act in day-to-day life through our body and our speech. So you will see as you go through this entire process of yoga, all the 5 layers will begin to align. And Anandmay Kosh, because it's so close to the soul, it is radiating that kind of property. Then less radiation of that property, but you will also see that intellectual mind is quite stable, right? It is when the emotions and the mind comes in and we have the impurities, that there is a lot of wavering that goes on. Then our breathing is impacted, then our actions are impacted, right? So right now in your asana class, you are working on your physical layer, and pranayam classes, we are working on this layer, right? Any doubts so far? Awesome. Okay, great. So it's very important in the introductory class to understand this thing, because you will be practicing so you know where the impact is going to come, right? So we will tomorrow discuss more, and we will even begin our practice tomorrow. So we will discuss more and more things which are required for the pranayam practitioner, and what are the other things that are going on when it comes to the subtle body, right? Your vital body, right? So there are no doubts. I'll end today's session. Yeah. So you can read up more about it if you feel you haven't understood this very properly, right? And you will experience it. Okay. So when we practice, wait for that moment also. So it will come on your experience level also. Awesome. So let's close today's session. We'll just chant Om 1 time and Shanti 3 times. Okay. So sit comfortably. Keep the back and neck straight. Very gently close your eyes. Just watch the breathing. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti. 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 Just feel the vibrations. Join your palms together. Let's just bow down. Take out a few moments to feel grateful for everything we have in life. Food, clothes, shelter, all the people around us. Rub the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms, begin to open up your eyes. Come back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. I will see you all tomorrow for your philosophy class, right? And your pranayam class also. So one thing I wanted to say before I leave. So when you guys like rub your palms together, so try, so sometimes what most of us do is we keep the palm, like this portion of the palm on the eye. So try to avoid this. You have to make a cup of your hands, okay? When you rub them, make a cup of the hand and just place this on your eyes so that this curve that is being formed, this is where your eyes, somewhere, this is where your eyes are, okay? So you don't have to strain the eyes, okay? You have to allow, and when you generate this heat, you will feel this heat reach your eyes. So take a few moments to feel that. Always make your palms in this way and then place them on the eyes, okay? So don't exert your eyes at all, right? So take care.
I have a Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a general question. I can't participate on every class. Are they somewhere recorded, or how is it going?
So these are these sessions, live sessions are recorded and they are uploaded on YouTube every day. Okay, so all of the live sessions, they are uploaded on YouTube. And if are you a part of the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I'm part of the WhatsApp group too.
Awesome. So yesterday only I posted the 2 links. One YouTube link is for all of your classes except anatomy. Okay. And one link I have posted separately, which is for your anatomy classes specifically. So all the live anatomy classes are uploaded on that link. All other classes are uploaded on the other link. So you can go and watch them over there.
So I can actually watch everything whenever I want.
Yes, you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Great. So bye-bye. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.